What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Air It Out podcast. I'm sorry. Ooh, yeah, I didn't hear that. The RPO podcast. This is your host Jerome Jones, man. I'm so used to saying something. I'm not saying anything because I'm so excited right now because we are doing a live mock draft right here, right in front of you guys, a day before the draft. First and foremost, you guys already know who I am. I'm Jerome Jones. I'm the humble host of RPO College Podcast. And we're here with a couple of guys. I want to introduce my guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ray Roberts first. Ray, how you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Doing good, man. Awesome, definitely. Everybody know who that guy is. He's the man. He's the only reason we have this podcast. He's the guy. He's the guy. But I want to introduce to you to a couple of newer faces, but not too new guys. I know who they are if you have been watching this. We got Lamarcus Bailey first and foremost. Lamarcus, right at the top. How you doing, sir? You doing good, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, and the guy right under him, we got Mr. Sam Kirk in the building. Mr.
What's up,
Piston,
guys?
how you
How's it
doing,
going?
sir? If you don't know, first of all, let me get everybody's team first. Lamarcus is a Falcons fan, even though he tries to act like he's not. We got Sam, who's a Giants fan. We got Ray Roberts. You already know Ray. He's a Dolphins fan. He don't have a pick tonight, so he'll be making an honorary pick at the end of the draft. And last but not least, my man Chris Thomas at the bottom. Chris, how you doing, sir?
Yo, what's going on? Happy to be on and ready to do this mock draft. I did one last week and ready to do another one this week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And obviously, if you don't see my shirt, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. And my man Chris is an Eagles fan as well. So he's going to be making all the Eagles picks today. But we're not going to hold you guys too much longer because I'm ready to get this going. Before we start though, I want to get everybody's opinion on. Let's get a little hot take. I want one hot take from everybody real quick. One hot take on what's going to happen tomorrow during the draft. Start bottom up. Chris, you go first.
Not so much of a hot take, but a quarterback will be taken in the mid-teens.
Okay. I did that. Ray, what you got? You got anything for us?
The Eagles will not take Bijan Robinson with the 10th pick in the draft.
I knew he's gonna do it, Ray. I know you too well, Ray. I knew you were gonna say that. It's okay. I'm sipping the tea a little bit, but we'll see how this mock draft. Maybe it might go that way, maybe not. Chris got the pick, so he's not gonna go that way. But anyway, Sam, what's your hot take for tomorrow, man? Sam, you still here with us, man? Think we're all right. We're gonna go to Lamarcus real quick. I can't hear Sam, but Lamarcus, what is your hot take for tomorrow?
My hot take, a lot of people don't really know or think that it could possibly happen. But the Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ritter wasn't such a favorite pick for a lot of Falcons fans. Maybe we're going to get a guy who can kind of take us to the future, take Anthony Richardson in the first round.
Woo! Anthony Richardson to the Falcons. I like it. All right, Sam, we're gonna go back to you. You didn't get your hot take in. What's your hot take for
sorry
tomorrow?
about that. But recently, just a lot of mocks I've been doing. I think for some reason, C.J. Stroud is going to filter and be really close to falling outside that top 10. For some reason, I just think there's a chance that happens with how the board's falling. And I think there's two teams, Detroit and Arizona, that are kind of in this no man's land spot where they don't know if they need a quarterback. So there's a good chance they're going to get out of that trade. They're going to trade out of those positions. So it's going to be a fun night tomorrow.
Okay, I like it, man.
Actually, Jerome, I have one more before we get started.
Go ahead.
No linebacker will get taken in the first round.
That's not a hot take. Anyway, but no. To get back to Sam's real quick, not to cut yours off, Chris. That is a hot take, and that's a really good hot take because it's been a while since linebackers haven't been taken. Well, if you talk about interior linebackers, edge rushers, linebackers, whatever. Sam, to get back on Sam's point, I heard something today that C.J. Stroud actually didn't do good his Wonderlic text, so that might be a thing that teams are looking at right now. So We definitely get into it, but let's get into the draft, man. We had you guys waiting way too long already, so we're gonna go right in here. And as you guys may or may not know, we do the draft like this. Each person's gonna have a pick. Each pick is randomized, so everybody's pick is randomized except if it's your favorite team. Like I said, Ray don't have a favorite team. I kind of gave him the first overall pick, just just to compensate for that, and he'll have a little spill at the end about his team as well. But let's get right into it with the number one overall pick, Ray Roberts. You are on the board. Who are you picking for the Panthers?
Now I'm gonna usually I would make this pick for myself, but I keep hearing Carolina's going to take Bryce Young, so I'm taking Bryce Young with the first pick out of Alabama. I would take some out here because I'm a little, and I know Bryce Young is a good player. I know he can play. I know his size is not a big deal. I'm not worried about his height. I'm worried about a quarterback that weighs 190 pounds. So I'm not going to lie about it. But it doesn't seem like Carolina's worried about it, so I'm just going to take him here.
Awesome. Now, before I let everybody else get their opinions in, me and Ray did a mock draft about like 2-3 weeks ago, and we kind of compared our picks, and I had Bryce Young going to Carolina. Ray had Stroud. So before I let everybody else go, what is it about what has it been since the last 3 weeks that made you kind of switched over? Is it just from what you're hearing, or just more of like?
Well, it's only what I hear.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. If you look at the film, Bryce Young only got one pass batted all year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's still 195 pounds playing in a big man's league. So I'm a little worried about that. I'm not going to lie about it. But again, it doesn't seem like Carolina's worried about it. So I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to take Bryce Young. I do.
All right. Anybody else got an opinion on that real quick? All right. I guess everybody's.
I like to hear Chris's opinion because I'm sure he's a Stroud fan.
No, to be honest,
pick here, what would you do?
Honestly, if I had this pick, it'd be Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
Okay.
It gives him an opportunity to do Cam Newton all over again. I love the size. I love
I'm not loving that though.
I don't think the
okay.
Yeah, but like obviously, like he's super raw, but the quarterback room and the coaches that they have right now in Carolina with Frank Wright, I feel like that's a perfect hand in glove fit for what Richardson needs to develop into a legitimate NFL starting quarterback.
I don't disagree with that. I think that Richardson is that one outlier that he could be like a dynamic player if he gets with the right coach. I do.
Awesome. All right, let's get to our next pick, which is going to be the second overall pick. Sam, you are on the clock with the Texans. Who are you picking at 2, man?
Well, what I'm thinking here is the Texans, I think they could wait a year to, just let Davis Mills and this team just be kind of formidable or whatever they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be a great football team in any way. So might as well take the talent here. And I think based on reports, they like Tyree Wilson a lot more than they do Will Anderson. So I'm going to go Tyree Wilson here to the Texans.
We got our first shakeup.
I mean, I just think there's a lot of guys defensively in this first round that are, similar to Will Anderson. I think Will Anderson's obviously the best player, but I do think there's some really good talent behind him. And, we have seen like little things like that in the past where certain teams just fall in love with the player. So I can see Tyree Wilson, kind of being a falling here to Houston. What do you guys think?
All right. We got our first shakeup. I got to hear what you guys think about that because everybody think it's either going to be a quarterback here or Will Anderson is no other pick. What do you guys think about this, man? Let's go with Ray first.
I think if you're taking an edge player, you got to take Will Anderson. If I'm not, I'm taking Jalen Carter. He's probably the second or third best player on the board right now. Mm-hmm. So I like Tyree Wilson, which Jerome. I picked him 5th in our last mock draft. I like him, but I can't pass on a guy that was productive as a guy was at Alabama, or a guy who played on the national champion who's been the most defensive player on his team for 2 years. I can't. I have to. So,
what do you think, Chris?
I see the vision with Tyree Wilson, but like Ray said, you can't pass up on probably the best overall player in this draft, Will Anderson. That's just me.
I don't know. I feel like the Texans be doing stuff like this sometimes, though. I do
You
feel
know,
like
if,
they do.
if it were Seattle, I'd agree with you.
Oh, well, the Mario Williams thing, and then taking the other edge rusher, Clowney over quarterback then. So they have a little history of that. LaMarcus, real quick, what do you think?
I think it's an interesting pick. I expected Bryce Young to go here. However, I'm thinking that if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, with Bryce Young still on the board, that's kind of looking like a nice pick, especially with Kyler Murray coming off injury.
Well, let's get to it because, man, you got number 3. You got the cards right there at number 3. So, hey, what are you doing?
So, Cardinals, one of their biggest needs on the defensive side of the ball, cornerback was a big thing that they kind of needed that and shorten up the offensive line. However, in light of Kyler Murray being injured, I think that, especially a serious knee injury, I'm thinking that Cliff Kingsbury, having a guy there, can kind of work with him. I think
He's not going to do it.
Bryce Young.
Oh, Bryce Young's off the board, sir? You mean CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, so that's gonna make some headlines. I mean, let's talk about it though. CJ Stroud going to the Cardinals right here. I know. Kyler Murray just got a big contract. Chris, you look like you want to say something about this first. I'm gonna let you go first. You got the biggest expression right now.
Well, first of all, you just ruined my board. So.
Welcome to the draft, baby. You never know what's gonna happen.
And this means if you draft CJ Stroud here, that means you're absolutely done with Kyler Murray after giving him an extension. This is basically kind of like the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts situation all over again.
Even worse because he's a 3rd overall now. But go ahead, Marcus.
I think I was just saying that because obviously that's available talent. I think in a situation like the Arizona Cardinals, I don't necessarily think Anthony Richardson fits in this spot. I think that, with that offensive staff, I believe that a quarterback like CJ Stroud would definitely fit a little bit better than Anthony Richardson, who's a very dynamic guy, more of a project though.
Yeah.
So like CJ Stroud, you get more of a refined option. You would kind of work a little bit more with him.
I hear what you're saying too, because it seemed like the Cardinals was having some issues with Kyler Murray a little bit last year. I don't know how they feel about him too, with the way they made the contract too, where he couldn't really play video games the way he was. Ray, I want to hear what you think about this whole thing.
I think Lamarcus is brilliant. I think Murray is a loser, and as soon as I can get rid of him, might as well get rid of him now while he still has value.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking also, like Jerome mentioned, the fact that he had a lot of issues with, them questioning whether or not he really loved the game. Mm-hmm. I know Ray, a while ago, I remember Ray mentioning something about him being a me guy, and I can kind of see them moving on from him, especially coming off of the injury.
Definitely.
I just wish that the Cardinals GM had the guts that LaMarcus has. That's all.
Wow, that's okay. All right, Sam, you got
saying,
anything you want to say about this real quick? Sam, you still with us? I think Sam is frozen. All right, well, let's get to our next pick. And let Sam kind of give his opinion a little bit later. All right, so CJ Stroud off the board. Craziness. Hey, man, this is how the draft goes sometimes, though. The draft can be like that, where you never know who's gonna get picked and stuff like that. All right, let's go to number 4 with Andy. That would be Chris. You have the next pick right here, sir. Who are you taking at number 4?
Okay, I thought because Jonathan Gannon is there, they would go defense like Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, and I would just run to the podium and get CJ Stroud and call it a night for Indy. That saves Jim Irsay's bacon, that saves Chris Ballard's bacon. However, Stroud's off the board. The reality, I cannot afford to wait another year to get a quarterback. So with this, I'm going to go Anthony Richardson, quarterback from Florida.
We got a little quarterback run going, and we got Sam coming back soon. But yeah, wow. Anthony Richardson going here at 4 was a good pick. I think he fits with Gannon, not Gannon,
Steichen.
Steichen. Sorry, Steichen wants to do as far as like doing something similar to Jalen Hurts. What you guys think? Who wants to go first?
I could say something. I mean, I just think, honestly, I do think 3 quarterbacks could easily come off the board before these picks, and it makes the draft a lot more easy to see how it's just going to go, because that next group of 1, 2, 3, I mean, they don't need many quarterbacks, so I don't think Seattle, Detroit, or Vegas is really in the market for that. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Definitely. And obviously, you guys, we're not doing any trades in this draft. So obviously, there might be some movement around this area too. I heard a rumor that no teams really want to go up. We'll see how that goes. There hasn't been a lot of trades in the first 4 rounds of the last couple of drafts. Obviously, there was one this year, but that was pre-draft. So we'll see how that goes. But Anthony Richardson here, interesting. Ray, what do you think?
I think it's a great pick. I think in Steifen's offense, he could be a dynamic player. Now you have to coach him up, and you got to be patient with him. But the kid is an immensely talented player, without a doubt.
Yeah, and let him, sit it behind Minshew a little bit.
Imagine this guy with his athleticism in the Eagles type of an offense with Jonathan Taylor. Wow.
Oh yeah, forgot about Jonathan Taylor, man. Oh yeah, we mentioned that before, Ray. That
wow.
Jonathan Taylor
Jalen Hurts was very good this year. This kid has more upside than Jalen Hurts does. I hate to tell people that.
Yeah, it's the same locker room that Jalen Hurts had last year. With Steichen calling the plays, Minshew as the quarterback, they're going to be in his ear. And just imagine the RPO with him and Jonathan Taylor.
Just imagine faking the ball to Jonathan Taylor inside, and everybody collapses inside, and this guy's off to the races. See you later. That's man. Can't wait to see it.
What do you think, LaMarcus? You're muted, sir. Can't hear you.
He's on your phone, right?
Yeah. Phone's still there. Still got him. It's all good. We'll let you talk in a little bit once you get yourself situated. All right, let's get to our next pick, guys, and that will be number 5 to the Seahawks. Seahawks look like they're in a good position right now. At number 5 with all these quarterbacks going. 3 of the last 4 picks were quarterbacks. So Seahawks right there, Ray. Who are you taking right here? I wouldn't be surprised if I knew.
Do you gotta ask?
No.
Will Anderson.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Will Anderson, yes.
Wow. Seattle getting Will Anderson here is too much of a good thing. Ray, explain your pick. I mean, it's not much to explain, but go ahead.
Second biggest need, best player in the draft. Pretty simple.
All right. What do you think about that, Chris?
This is probably the easiest pick Seattle will probably ever make in their franchise's history.
What he just said.
Run, do not walk.
Correct.
Run to the podium.
Correct.
Like, or you could just do a power walk.
Like soon as you hear the sun and Richardson, go up there.
If I would probably just stand up and say, "Who do you guys think I'm taking?"
Who do you think?
Yeah.
LaMarcus, you still good, man? Are you still there? How you feeling? How about this pick?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I really believe that Will Anderson definitely was the obvious pick, one of the best available players. If it wasn't for the string of quarterbacks, he would have went on top overall. The Tyree Wilson pick, in my opinion, a little bit of a different type of player. I believe that Will Anderson could kind of play in space a little bit better. However, I don't think that's what he would do. I would have taken Will Anderson with that second pick and little Tyree Wilson.
My problem with Tyree Wilson is he's got the length, he's got the look. There's got to be a reason why the production is not in there.
I mean, in my opinion, just look at the SEC's record as far as putting out edge rushers. You know, the SEC is unmatched. Tyree Wilson, for him to not produce in the Big Ten, the Big 12, I believe that's kind of one of those things where I'm like, why isn't he producing in a lesser conference? You know, so
I hear that.
Again, man, the kid has upside. He does, but again, the production's not there, and I just can't. I wouldn't take him, over Will Anderson, and I don't know if anybody else would either. To be honest with you, so
100%. All right, so real quick, while we're waiting for Sam to come back, I'm not sure where he's at, but real quick, let's get a little recap on what happened so far. The top 5 picks. Number 1 going to the Panthers is Bryce Young. Number 2 is Tyree Wilson, the shocker of the draft so far. Kind of made the board a little different with number 3 going to CJ Stroud, going to the the Cardinals. Very amazing pick. Ray thinks he's a genius for that. Number 4, we got Indy, and that Anthony Richardson with the run on quarterbacks. And at number 5, we got Will Anderson. Real quick before we go on to our next pick, how likely do you think this draft is going to go in this direction?
You know what, Drum? There's a shot. There is a shot. I hear people really like Tyree Wilson. They like his length, maybe a little bit more than Will Anderson. But again, I can't go away from the production that Will Anderson gave me. But I do think it's a shot, and I don't know if the Cardinals will have the guts to make that move. I applaud Marcus for doing it, but I don't know if the Cardinals will.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's crazy, crazy pick. I think it's interesting. Though.
I didn't say crazy. I said ballsy. Remember that, okay, man?
Okay. I still think it's crazy. I think it's crazy, but I mean, it happened. It been happening in the NFL the last couple of years.
I hate to say it, man. If I got to put something in someone's contract that they got to study football and they're a quarterback, I'm sorry, man. I'm done. Okay.
No, I hear it. I agree. No, you're 100% right on that one. All right, let's get to our next pick. Now that we got Sam back, number 6 with the Lions. Sam, how you doing, man? Good to see you again. Easy. Who you taking at number 6, sir? You're muted, sir.
You're muted, Sam.
This is pretty easy, as you guys just said, but yeah, I knew Ray would take Carter, so I'm gonna go with Anderson here.
No, he picked Anderson.
Oh, he went Anderson? Okay, I'll go with Carter then. I heard him hyping up Carter earlier. I didn't know which way he would go, so I just figured I would go either way. But you heard Dan Campbell say something about Jalen Carter, I believe, early in the draft process. He said something about them interviewing his Georgia teammates and getting to know about what they had to say about Jalen Carter off the field. So I think the Lions are going to be able to see past that and, move on and just be able to take the talent and, continue to build their team and their young team, their good team.
Definitely. Oh, man, Jalen Carter goes to the Lions next to my guy, Aiden Hutchinson. Ooh. Man, they already beat up that defense. Got a whole bunch of corners, safeties, all that. The linebackers look solid from last year. A young team, but man, that defense gonna look crazy. Chris, what do you think about this pick, man?
It's another layup, and the fact that Jalen Carter fell right into Detroit's lap. So now you got him and Aiden Hutchinson now running pretty much roughshod on a now lackluster NFC North quarterback carousel. Now that Rodgers is gone,
it's crazy. What do you think, LaMarcus?
I think that it's a solid pick, but you already know what I thought about the Jalen Carter pick. With me putting out so much money in the first round with a guy with those kind of questions, teammates are very valuable sources. However, they're the ones closest to him. They're gonna say good things about him. So I think with Jalen Carter, it's not a pick that I would make this high. But great player. I think you could have got him at a discount.
Respectable. Respect it. I like it. Like it. What do you think, Ray?
I think Jalen Carter is a great talent. I maybe would have went corner here, but I do understand you go defensive line and you still have it's a deep corner class. You had that 18th pick. I probably would have tried to improve my secondary with this pick, though. To be honest with you.
Got you. Definitely. Definitely. All right. Let's get to our next pick, man. That was a good pick. I like it. And definitely respect it for sure. We're gonna get to our next pick, which will be number 7, going to the Raiders. And I'm sorry, Chris, you are on the clock right now. Who are you taking for the Raiders?
Okay. I don't have to touch my offense at all because despite how I feel about Jimmy Garoppolo, he stabilizes the quarterback position. You have a really good running back. You have an elite wide receiver, a good complimentary wide receiver. You could go offensive line here, but but they need help in the secondary bad. They need help, period, on that defense side of the ball. And I'm really glad that I got my first pick of the litter when it comes to corners. I'm going Christian Gonzalez,
There you
defensive
go.
back from Oregon.
Nice, nice. I was waiting. I was hoping you said that, man, because that just seems like the perfect pick right now for me. I want to hear what you guys think about this, though.
I mean, there was definitely a need for Vegas just coming into this, so I think his stock, like I seem to think, kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I think he's always been in the first round, but he's like been one of those guys that's been consistently like his stock has been continued to rise, and now it's pretty much that debate between him and Witherspoon. But again, like deep corner class, so it'll be interesting to see how many go in round 1.
Definitely. I heard Lamarcus about to say something.
Yeah, personally, and at this pick, I would have taken Joey Porter Jr. I believe that Christian Gonzalez, he's a solid guy, but when I go and turn on the tape against the best competition that he played his entire time at Oregon against Georgia, I think that he got exposed, and he was definitely kind of iffy when it came up time to tackle, and that's one of the things that today's game, like regardless of being able to cover. If I see guys shying away from certain things, especially coming up and tackling, it just makes me it makes it an easy decision for me. Makes me not really care about how good of a cover that I
am. What do you think, Ray?
I mean, I like Christian Gonzalez. I maybe would have tried to think about going offensive line here, but you've got a good football player. I just again, it's a big deep corner class, so I maybe would have went offensive line here.
Got you.
But it's a good player. You're fine.
I feel like that's a Raiders type of pick, though. They get guys like him all the time.
Yeah,
they're physically like imposing guys. The guys are fast. The guys are longer, bigger.
Whoever the coach is next year after McDaniel fails again.
have a question.
Go ahead, Lamarcus.
So we're talking about guys physically imposing with crazy measurables. What do you think about the Kelly Ringo pick? Right? That as far as
too high.
If you're gonna go that, right?
I hear you, Lamarcus. Too high.
Not at number 7. Not at number 7. Not even in the first round. Honestly,
I think you know what I think. I think Christian Gonzalez makes everything look so smooth. People don't think he's that good. I mean, he's just so smooth in what he does. People don't underestimate him with that. And he really struggled against Georgia this year. But I mean, like, he's playing against Georgia.
That's what he'll be playing. Look, the pinnacle of the NFL.
And it's the same reason why people that out of the quarterback, though, because Oregon's not really – they're a good program. They're not a premier program, though.
Correct.
They're not.
All right. Well, let's get to our next pick right here. That will be number 8, and that will be going to Lamarcus with his favorite team. I'm messing with you, man. He knows that's his favorite team. It's okay. Lamarcus, you got plenty of picks to pick right here for the Falcons. You live here in Atlanta. I want to know what you think they should go right here to make them even better.
So this one was a hard one for me just because we got a lot of free agent signings. Shored up some of the secondary. We got Jeff Okuda in. We got Calais Campbell on the D-line. T.J. in the secondary. So it's kind of a pick where I'm gonna probably have to go offensive lineman. I'm thinking my guy out of Ohio State,
Paris Johnson.
my tackle out of Ohio State.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Paris Johnson.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I like it. I mean, solid pick. A guy that they could definitely use on their offensive line. I want to hear what you guys think about this. I know the Falcons been paying a lot of resources on their offensive line the last 10 years. I want to hear what you guys think about this. Start with Ray.
Great pick. I love Paris Johnson. My top rated offensive lineman. The guy's is a mountain. He's a really technically sound football player. I think honestly, if I had the Raiders pick, I probably would have made that team pick right there. To be honest with you.
Awesome, Chris. What do you think? Being an Ohio State guy.
I really like this pick for two reasons. One, it gives him a perfect opportunity to really implement Arthur Smith's offense, play action, straight up run the football. Tyler Algier had over 1,100 yards rushing with a really inconsistent offensive line in Atlanta last year, and Paris Johnson improves that. And two, it gives Desmond Ridder a fighting chance. They've done a really good job this offseason surrounding himself with complementary weapons, and fortifying the offensive line gives him a fighting chance to be a legitimate starting quarterback.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I know. I agree with Chris. I just think what Atlanta needs to do is not miss in the draft. Like, that's something you just can't afford to do. So, I mean, I think them going here with a more solid pick instead of trying to save their team with one pick it's the right way to go when you're trying to rebuild a team. And when you think of that good Falcons team, they had good tackles, they had good O-line, Jake Matthews, they had guys during their Matt Ryan solid days. So Paris Johnson, I think, will fit well there.
Awesome. I like it. Any last words, LaMarcus?
I really think that what Sam said was spot on. They can't afford to have a bad draft. However, I think with all the signings and free agency, I think they're like, hey, we got to win now, despite them having a few bad strings of drafts.
Hey,
they got to win now.
And to say this is a perfect opportunity for them because that NFC South is not looking that hot. I mean, they got a new quarterback in Derek Carr in New Orleans, so I guess they're the guys that everybody's gonna be looking at. But you got the Panthers who's still looking for their franchise quarterback. You got the Bucks still looking for their franchise quarterback. Both of those teams are kind of, I think Panthers are a little bit more stable at the moment. They just need a quarterback more than the Tampa Bay. They look like they're trying to rebuild. So I think this is a perfect time for the Falcons to, do what they need to do and get better at this moment. All right, let's get to our number 9 pick right here. It is going to be Sam picking for the Chicago Bears. You're on mute, sir.
I think it's kind of a hometown pick. You go best player on the board, and you get the cornerback Devon Witherspoon. I just think he'd be a solid add to this Bears team. Again, another team, great offseason, right? Get a guy who's going to be coming in day one and being a solid piece of this defense. And I think it's a good story. Him succeeding and being that top 10 pick from Illinois. I think it's a good story for him to just end up with the Bears. Good fit too.
Okay. One pick before my team. I would have loved him to slide down one more slide. I don't know if Chris would have did it, but I want to hear what you guys think real quick. Chris, let's go first.
Solid pick. Personally, I would have gone Peter Skoronski from Northwestern here. The Bears still have legitimate offensive line issues, and Skoronski has that versatility to play anywhere in the offensive line that can help field them the 5 best offensive linemen to protect Justin Fields. So, but overall, I like this pick. It goes great with Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson, the veteran up top. So, it's rounding out to be a really good young second.
Nice. Lamar, what do you think?
Solid pick. Devin Witherspoon, he wasn't my favorite corner in the draft. I feel like he's more of a value type guy. You can get him in the later round, and he's going to play for 10 years. But I don't think he was a premier cornerback, in my opinion. Whenever I see guys talking about physical hard hitting corners, I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to see my corner hitting, but that should be his primary thing. That's a given.
He had some picks. He had
Two tackles.
he had some good amount of picks last year.
Funny.
I would have taken Jared toward the
Go ahead, Ray. What are you thinking, man?
I agree with Chris. I would have taken offensive lineman here, either Broderick Jones or Skoronski. LaMarcus, the last time you were talking about clear, you said tackle, and then you just said hit. What corners hit or tackle, man?
Yo, hold on. Because LaMarcus, I need you to clap back a little bit because we both DBs. Even though you try to claim yourself as a linebacker, we both DBs. I need you to help me out with him talking like this about our corners, man. What's up?
I mean, he's right. However, like I said, like
you don't tell him that though.
No, man. Name 5 corners that are good tacklers. Just give me 5 out of like their 40 that are in the league. Give me 5.
I'm gonna start off with Deion Sanders.
I'm talking about now. I don't care about
I'm joking.
I was playing when I was young.
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey definitely.
That's one. Okay.
Definitely a tackler.
That's one. And we all know what team he's on.
Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah, he definitely tackles.
Yeah, but he can't cover anybody, so it don't matter that he tackles. He don't cover anybody.
I'm dead. I'm over this. Let's move on. Let's move on. We're about to have a whole argument now. Oh man, this is literally me, Ray. Every podcast. All right, let's get to our next one. My Philadelphia Eagles, mine and Chris. I can't just say mine.
Oh, I can't wait. Who's making this pick?
Ooh, Chris is making this pick.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Very interested what he's gonna do here. Because
I know what he's going to do. You're not going to like it your own guy, Chris.
My friends, the funny story, quick side story. My friends are funny because they actually think I actually work for the Eagles, so they keep telling me like, "You need to draft Bijan Robinson. You need to draft Bijan Robinson." I'm like, I don't work for these teams. But this is what I was afraid of. Bijan's going to be on the board. Everyone thinks they're going to get him, but the reality is that we're not going to get him. The Philadelphia Eagles with the 10th pick select Peter Saransky, offensive lineman from Northwestern.
I respect it. Maybe not with Bijan right there. You might ruffle some feathers, but I mean, I don't hate this pick at all.
Either way, in this draft, you're getting either your right guard of the next decade, or your right tackle of the next decade.
Correct.
And as long as also you have, your offensive line coach there as well. Listen, that locker room with Lane Johnson learning from Kelsey, Jordan Mailata, Cam Jurgens, like that, Landon Dickerson, that is a lot of knowledge in that offensive line room that Peter Saransky is going to learn from.
All right,
and more importantly,
go ahead.
Solid pick, but don't ask me about Northwestern offensive linemen. They're some of the most solid that you'll get. Big Ten offensive linemen. You really can't go wrong with that pick.
Definitely. No, I agree. He's a beast, man. I see him. Obviously, I'm a Michigan guy, so I get to see him more than I want to. He played very well. He plays very, very well. Ray, what do you think?
I love the pick. I think it's a great pick. Again, you upgrade the right guard spot right now. 2 years from now, 3 years, whenever Lane Johnson decides to hang it up, he slides right over. You already have a couple guys you can move inside already as it is. I think it's great.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, solid pick. I mean, it's just scary to think about the Eagles getting another tackle like this, to be honest. Like, that's what they're build on, and me as a Giants fan.
And contrary to what Eagles –
them run the ball just everywhere on us for years. And
Hey Sam, we re-signed Boston Scott too, right?
Yeah, I realized. I mean, his over on touchdowns next year is the Giants. I swear we're gonna sign him if he hit the market. They swear they're gonna sign him.
Yeah, Ray, I told you the Giants fans been wanting Boston Scott for a while just to get him off our roster.
Yo, man, if he could play the Giants every week, he'd be like a 1,400-yard guy.
Hall of Famer.
Costs like $15 million less than Saquon.
All right. And last thing about Stransky, offensive defensive lineman is the one area that Howie doesn't miss on.
Correct.
I agree.
That's why, and honestly, that's why that theory and that way of thinking about the draft are the reason why they're always usually a good team.
I don't hate it. I definitely
don't
hate
worry about Bijan Robinson. He's going to be fine playing in Dallas this year. Sorry, Jerome.
Don't let this man pick. Don't let this man pick Bijan. Don't let him pick Bijan. All right, real quick, we'll do a real quick recap on the top 10 picks. Like we said before, whoever been in here and not seen the whole thing. Number 1 was Bryce Young. Number 2 is went to Tyree Wilson. Number 3 is CJ Stroud. Number 4 is Anthony Richardson. Number 5 is Will Anderson. Number 6 is Jalen Carter. Number 7 is Christian Gonzalez. Number 8 is Paris Johnson. Number 9 was Devin Witherspoon. And number 10 was Peter Skoronski going to the Eagles. All right, let's get to our number 11th pick. That will be LaMarcus picking for the Tennessee Titans. Let me get the graphic up real quick. Boom. All right, LaMarcus, you on the clock. Who you got, man?
All right, this is a tough one. In lieu of the media's reports about my guy Malik not being the guy over there, I'm believing that coach is looking to move on, obviously. However, when you look at the next guy, Bryce, when you look at the next guy, Will Levis, right? We're not gonna take Will Levis. However, I'm thinking they're gonna go to the defense side of the ball. I'm looking at Joey Porter Jr. going right here.
Joey Porter, man, you've been trying to get this man on this board all night.
I mean, one thing I will say is with pro pedigree, a lot of people try to underrate it, but it really matters. Having a guy, an all-pro father that plays a part. You look at like situations like Antoine Winfield Jr. Those type of guys are football heads. They're great investments because they're gonna have that dedication to the game and they're gonna have the support behind them. He's a great lengthy corner. My guy Sam Kirk, classmate with my guy. So I'm gonna get some kudos there. And so Joey Porter Jr. I think will be a great pick here.
All right, let's start off with Sam right here. What do you think about your guy going to Tennessee?
Yeah, I could imagine. He's the third best corner. He really is. I truly believe that. And he's put on a lot of good tape. He really has over this past year. And I just think he's played against the competition. He's done his thing. Overall, I think he's a guy you can trust.
He said, "Wait, I'm late." I'm not sure who this is. Facebook user. The Falcons did take Peter Skoronski at number 8. That was LaMarcus' pick right there. Ray, what do you think about the 11th pick?
I like Joey Porter. I wish he tracked the ball a little better, but I don't. I think he's a good football player. I think that he needs to play a lot of press coverage, though. Mm-hmm. I think if you ask him to play zone, he may run into some problems there. But I think Jerome. I know he's a good football player. It's a solid pick. I maybe would have went offensive line there, but
I agree with that. What do you think? What are you saying, Alan Walters?
Oh, I was about to say I agree with what Ray said. However, from watching the tape, he's a press guy. He's lengthy. No. He's long. I can match him up.
Avery said, "Boo, LaMarcus." Hey, listen, I'm going to defend LaMarcus right here because everybody on the panel thought that was a great pick, except for you, Avery. So
it was Paris Johnson, not Peter Skoronski.
Paris Johnson. Sorry, Paris Johnson. Sorry.
Look, if we're taking Avery's advice, we're picking Drake London as our first overall pick, or we're taking Kyle Pitts as our first overall pick. Look, wait, how many touchdowns does Kyle Pitts have since he's been in the NFL? It's not a worthwhile pick. Yes, three touchdowns in 2 years. Not.
I think my guy Darius Slay has more touchdowns right now. Oh man, but I like to pick LaMarcus. I do think they've been trying to get some DBs the last couple of years. So, I'm sorry, Chris. Didn't let you get your opinion.
All I'll say is this: if Caleb Ferry can stay healthy, then this duo is going to be really nasty for like the next 5 to 7 years.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That being said, I feel like this is an opportunity. Like Taylor Lewan's gone, you could improve your offensive line. You could have got yourself Broderick Jones from Georgia, or you possibly could have traded back and get yourself with DeJuan Jones and plus extra picks. But since we're not doing trade backs, or you could possibly get yourself a wide receiver because the Titans probably have the worst wide receiver group in the entire NFL. A.J. Brown's stats alone eclipsed the entire Titans wide receiver room last year.
Hey,
that can't happen.
The receivers are definitely falling right now. There's not one pick yet. Real quick before we get to our 12th pick with the Texans. Avery says who's throwing it, and he got hurt year 2. Don't do that. He's talking about Kyle Pitts.
But what if availability is the best ability? So if you're not on the field, does it really matter?
Hey, availability is the best ability.
I'm paying you millions to sit at the house.
Hey, you're right. No, you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. All right, man. That's gonna do it with that pick right there. Some good picks so far. We're gonna go to our number 12 pick with the Texans, and that will be Mr. Ray Roberts at 12. You got some options, man. Who you picking right here?
You know what, Jerome? This is a hard pick for me because, in theory, I think the Texans would think about taking Will Levis here.
Mm-hmm.
They would absolutely think really hard about that.
After passing up a quarterback early, wow.
But to me, I wouldn't take him in the first round. So I have a hard time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Jackson Smith-Njigba. I hate this name. Njigba, the wide receiver from Ohio State.
Chris, can you help him out?
Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Njigba, yes. I'm taking him. I'm taking a playmaker to help out my offense.
Oh man. Well, I think in my last mock draft that we had, he said stop it. In our last mock draft, Ray, I had Jackson Smith-Njigba going here to the Texans. I did pair him up with C.J. Stroud though, going at number 2. So I thought that was a good pairing. He won't be with his quarterback in this mock draft, but Mr. Chris, you know, Ohio State fan. What do you think about this pick on here?
I really like this pick. Wide receiver 1 in this draft class, in my honest opinion. There's a reason why he stayed out of this the entire season because he wanted to make sure their hamstring was great. And think about it. He was on a team in which they had Garrett Wilson, himself, and Chris Olave. And Olave and Wilson both conceded that Njigba is better than both of them. Route running aficionado. You can play him on the X. You can put him in the slot. And more importantly, has a game-breaking second speed like you saw in the Rose Bowl against Utah. So after trading away Brandon Cooks, that's your wide receiver 1 right there for Houston.
You know what? And I'm not saying the Texans don't need an upgraded quarterback, but I like Mills. I always have. I think he's a solid system-type player. I think you had enough playmakers around him. I think he could be okay. I'm not saying you're going to win with him. I'm saying he'll be okay till next year so I get a quarterback.
No, I agree with that.
I think Will Levis is an enigma. I think if he gets with the right coach, he can be a solid player. If he gets the wrong coach, he'll be out of the league in 3 years.
Yeah. Lamar, what do you think about this?
I did a detailed breakdown on Will Levis just to kind of see, just not to just speculate, but to really just see. I watched some of his top games. I watched the LSU game. Watched that Georgia game. He is a quarterback that he has everything physically, but when it comes to just that pure playmaker ability, I feel like he lacks it. He took a lot of sacks. He threw a lot of just bad balls. When it was time for him to run, he looked very – one play against LSU that stood out in particular, there was one run where he second-guessed to run, and he actually ended up hurting himself just from sliding. So when I saw that, I'm like, this is a guy he's not normally in these situations. So like you said, a system guy, he has an arm talent, but I don't think the playmaking ability is truly there with him.
Well, the man spoken. All right, let's get to our next pick. That would be the number 13th pick. This team just got this pick from the Aaron Rodgers trade. Before we get to this pick, I want real quick. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers real quick. The trade. I mean, obviously we all kind of know it's coming. I want to talk to Ray because he actually likes this pick, considering that he's going into his division. So Ray, real quick, I don't want to take all day on Aaron Rodgers, but I just want to hear what you want to say about Aaron Rodgers.
Can't wait till the first game he struggles and he tells the New York media to relax. It's going to be beautiful.
Oh man, what do you think about the trade, Marcus?
I think it's a good trade. However, I think it's a little too late for the Jets. I think at this point, you got a washed up old Aaron Rodgers who's obviously leaning to his post football career. He's in it heavy, and he's obviously in it because he doesn't care what he says in the media anymore. He says it, does whatever. So I think that it's a little too late for him, for the Jets, to really get the best years out of Aaron Rodgers.
Chris, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers to the Green Bay? I'm sorry, to the Jets. Sorry.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy for the Green Bay Packers because I feel like they finally wanted to move on, and now they finally can. And it's Jordan Love season. However, this is probably the best offense that Aaron Rodgers probably has played his entire career now. Al Lazard, Garrett Wilson, a decent offensive line, Breece Hall, and running back. You got everything you wanted.
I agree. I agree with everything Chris just said, except for the meltdown that will happen when he acts like he's when he's in Green Bay.
Yeah, there's the thing. Green Bay media doesn't care because it's a middle to small market.
That's why
he tries to pull that stuff in New York. Oh my god!
That's what I mean. That's why he can talk down to them guys because it's Green Bay. It's football. That's all they care about. New York, you're just one of 4 or 5 teams up there that everyone roots for. I can't wait, man.
And think about it. You're not going to get that Yankee protection. Like
it's worse. It's worse than that. He can actually, if you look at their schedule and who they play, he may not even win 10 games. What's going to happen if they win 8 or 9 games, man? What happens if he gets hurt and he wins 7? Oh man, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Definitely.
Well, let me ask you, Sam, you're from New York. How do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to handle the New York media?
In a way, I think it's a chance for him to kind of like win back some people. You know what I mean? I think if he's able to go there, kind of shut his trap, win some games, I think a lot of people could change their mind on what he has to say. But coming off like kind of, he's just not somebody it looks like you would have a conversation with sometimes. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see him with that young team to see if they kind of click. So
I think what Sam just said, I think is a good point. It's actually a very good point. The only problem is getting him to be quiet is like getting Patrick Mahomes' wife to be quiet.
I can't stand this man sometimes. But the one thing I was gonna say is, Sam made a great point because I was about to make the same point. This is a young team, and how much patience will Aaron Rodgers have with a young team? And you're in a division who is kind of up at this moment. You got the Bills, who's been in the playoffs every year. You got, the Dolphins, who are like they're about to take off right now, and then the Patriots, they might be at the bottom at this point, but you're in a hard division, and you got a young team. How much patience will Aaron Rodgers have? I don't want to harper on Aaron Rodgers too long right now.
Yeah.
But let's get into our 13th pick, which is going to be Chris. You got the 13th pick with the Packers right here. Who are you adding to that team?
All right, I'm a little bit upset with Ray because he sniped me for my pick. I
knew it. I thought Chris, I thought you might take him with the Eagles pick, to be honest with you. I really did.
I would have turned this podcast off.
I am biased. I am not that biased. Like I thought Njigba would be perfect for Green Bay. Like I like Romeo Dobbs, I like Christian Watson, but Njigba to me gives me that legitimate wide receiver number 1 feeling. That being said, I'm going to pivot here. I'm going to go to the defensive side of the ball. The Packers every year have been focused more so on their secondary. I'm going to focus on what they've lost over the past few years, which is a lot in the front 7. I'm going to go Nolan Smith from Georgia.
Woo! Yo, I love it. I love it. Oh man. Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith. I think in my mock draft I actually gave him Lucas Van Ness. So we're not too far off, Chris. But I think I had Nolan Smith go a little bit earlier in my mock. No, I actually had him go later to the Seahawks in my mock draft. Ray, I want to know what you think about this because I know you're not too high on Nolan Smith. What do you think about him being here?
It's not that I don't like the player. I do. I think I worry about him being a little bit light, being a little bit scheme specific.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you get the most out of him, he should play in the 3-4. I don't always like taking them guys too early, but he's a good player. I think, I would have taken a wide receiver here, or at least thought really hard about it, or maybe even a tight end, because that would upset Aaron Rodgers, so that would make me happy too.
LaMarcus, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Chris. You're muted, by the way.
Okay. The reason why I did it is because they also got the 42nd pick from the Jets with that trade. True. So if I wanted to get a wide receiver, I could just double back in the early second to possibly get one.
Hey, it's definitely true. That is definitely true. LaMarcus, being a Georgia guy, what do you think about this?
Call me what you want. Call me what you want. But when it comes to Georgia guys, I'm very critical because it is my home state. I believe we have some of the best football players. Nolan Smith is a first man. It's a solid pick. I think they do well in Green Bay. Let me just go ahead and say that.
All right, awesome.
I want to expand on that.
Don't want to expand on it. All right, real quick, Sam, what do you think about the pick?
I think Nolan Smith is arguably one of I think you can make a case someone's going to reach for him tomorrow night. A little bit earlier than even this, and I think a team like Green Bay, obviously everyone's kind of saying wide receiver just to put that in Aaron Rodgers' face, but I think they're missing a lot of players on defense though, and Jordan Love is not going to be able to be putting up 30-point games like Aaron Rodgers did. They're going to need a little bit of a old style tough Packer defense to be able to get back to winning games.
Definitely. All right, let's get to our next pick. Sam, you're on the clock now with the Patriots at 14. Who you giving New England?
Yeah, did you can you fill me in on one pick? Who the Texans take at 12?
Texans took Njigba.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go Will Levis here. And I think there's a
Ray
chance.
is so happy right now. Go ahead. First go you on.
I just think for some odd reason, if he fell all the way to the Patriots, they would think long and hard about making this move. Because look at the upside of a guy like Levis compared to a guy like Mac Jones. They're kind of like opposite people. Levis has the talent and the flashiness, and the problem with him is the simple stuff, the IQ type of thing. So I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about this, but I don't know.
I'm so sorry because all I see is Ray trying to cover his face the entire time. I'm gonna talk with Ray real quick because I know Ray was not high on Will Levis. He don't like Will Levis like that.
I mean, he was here at my school. He was here at my school.
Really?
At Penn State. That's where he transferred from.
Yeah, you're right.
He couldn't beat out.
Name a good Penn State quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gary Collins.
Gary Collins was good for 2.5 years.
Who you say?
No, I think honestly, if you put Mac Jones' brain in Will Levis's body, you'd have a good quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think Bill might think that he can, change this guy.
The problem in Green Bay will Bill needs a coach and stop drafting players, but that's another point for another day. So
that is wild. All right. Will Levis is going to the Patriots. We're gonna try to speed it up just a little bit, guys. We're gonna go to number 15 to the New York Jets. Obviously that is Chris's pick right here. 2 picks in a row for Ray to laugh at, I guess. Who you picking here for the Jets, Chris?
I'm going to make this short and sweet. Broderick Jones, offensive lineman from Georgia.
Broderick Jones, definitely. I am not seeing his name on here. I have it. Hold on. I know I got Broderick Jones in here. Hold on, guys. Roger Jones going to the Jets. What do you think about this pick, right?
Great pick. Great pick. The Jets have line problems where guys staying healthy. Roderick Jones could just step right in and play either tackle spot for you probably right now and do a pretty good job of it. I love the pick. I think anytime you could build in the trenches, man, just jump on it. Don't even hesitate.
Definitely. All right, we're gonna kind of speed this along. I just wanted to get that opinion in right there. All right, let's go. Number 16 to the Washington Commanders. I was about to call him something else, and this would be Lamarcus pick right here. Lamarcus, who you got at the 16th pick for the Washington?
I think I'm going to stay on the offensive side of the ball. I think that the Commanders will do a good job getting a nice guy to show up and run.
Go ahead.
What is the drop mic thing about, Jerome?
The what?
It sounds like somebody dropped their mic or something and it echoes, you know?
Yeah, it's just Lamarcus right now. It's just the way it's on right now. Sorry.
That's fine.
I'm going to go tight end. I'm going to go to Dalton Kincaid. I think he'll be a good option. Great pick for the Commanders. Talented tight end. Could kind of do everything. Yeah, I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid right here.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry, listeners. That's kind of the sound system is going a little crazy, but Dalton Kincaid right here. All right, I'm gonna get everybody's opinion because this is a little off script a little bit. Let's go with Sam first. What do you think about this pick, man?
To me, it seems like a bit of a reach at just for a tight end position for a team that still has a lot of needs, in my opinion. And I do think that Washington even was a team that could have thought about Levis, but the guys on the board, I think Brian Branch could have been a good fit here. Washington needs offensive linemen as well. So I don't know. I don't think it's a bad pick, but obviously I think Washington has bigger needs than pass catchers right now.
Definitely. All right, Chris, what do you think?
I like the pick. I like him a lot better. I like Kincaid to come in and do a lot better job than Logan Thomas. It gives Sam Howell another offensive weapon to potentially throw to, and it gives another option to scheme for Eric Bieniemy. I thought if Will Levis was available, he would be in play also, because I don't think Washington will be in a position next year to be grabbing a high-end quarterback, but I can understand and justify this pick. He does everything really well. He's a solid tight end, and being able to play off Josh Dotson and Terry McLaurin, he's definitely going to see a lot of open targets.
What do you think, Ray?
I like him with Logan. I think Logan's a good blocker. He does some nice inline things. I think Kincaid could help stretch the middle of the field, help improve your run game. I think it's a good, solid pick. I maybe would have went defense here because I think the Washington football team needs more help on defense. But I do think that another tight end could help out their offense. And I'm a guy, I believe in Sam Howell. I think he's a good player. I think if you put enough good players around him, he will at least, again, I'm not saying he's going to be a great player. I'm not even saying he's going to be like a winning franchise type quarterback. I think he deserves a shot before you move on from him. That's all.
Definitely. And Lamarcus, actually, just thinking about it now, it's actually a low-key good pick right here, honestly, because, like, one, for all the things the guy said already, but, like, if you look at the draft board already, a lot of people had Washington going for a corner. There's some still really good corners on the board, but the run on corners early might have them go somewhere like this to help out their new franchise quarterback. And it's funny enough, I heard somebody compare Dalton Kincaid to Chris Cooley actually, so that might be a good pick. I love Chris Cooley. He was a good player, but I hate him at the same time because it's really good and play against the Eagles. So he's one of the players that I love. Dalton Kincaid. I always talk about the Utah guys over here. But let's get to our next pick right here, which is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
And the person picking them will be Sam. So, Sam, while you picking that, I'll jump off real quick. But Sam, take your pick.
I'm going to take Broderick Jones here, tackle from Georgia. I just think the Steelers need help along the offensive line a lot. So just him being able to slide into that role, he's only given up very few sacks at his time at Georgia. Looks like 2 sacks. I mean, this seems like another tackle that's just an absolute monster and stud on the outside.
All right, what you guys think about the pick?
Jerome, I think it's the wrong one on the graphic.
Who you pick? I'm sorry.
Broderick Jones.
Broderick. I picked Broderick.
Oh, you picked Broderick already?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, you said you missed
bet.
the names though, so I got confused.
Sorry about that. I did not know if he went. But I'll take Darnell Wright then.
Darnell Wright? Okay, got you. Okay. All right, so while you pick Darnell Wright, I'm gonna hop off the screen real quick.
All right. I mean, I just think again the Steelers need help along that offensive line. Wright and another SEC player played in a bunch of big games this year, did his thing. So I think it's a good fit for Mike Tomlin's team.
All right, Ray, what do you think about the pick?
I love the pick. I'm a Darnell Wright guy. I think again, he could play right tackle. You could put him at left tackle. He's going to be a really nice player for you. He's athletic. He has really nice feet. The only thing is he does lunge a little bit. He does when you're blocking from a tackle, man, can't lunge at guys, and he does that sometimes. But I think it's because he thinks he's quicker than everybody, and he is 99.9% of the time. But you need to. In the NFL, you can't lunge at all. If you do, you're out of position. So,
What do you think, Chris?
I like this pick too. I haven't been impressed with a Tennessee offense in a really long time up until this year, and he has a lot to do with this.
yes.
And more importantly, when you consider the Steelers' offensive line troubles, especially with them specifically running the football,
Yes.
or their lack of ability to push anything down the field because they don't get protection, this is a really good pick for them.
Yeah. And can I add, what Chris just said, this guy is a great run blocker. He really is technically sound. He will definitely improve your run game.
Definitely. I like the pick. Definitely a good pick here for this right here. All right, let's get to our number 18 pick real quick. And that will be 18 will be Ray. You got the Detroit Lions at 18. Who are you picking for them?
I got one of my favorite football players right now. I'm taking Deontay Banks, cornerback from Maryland.
Woo, Banks. Let's go. Deontay Banks off the board. All right, here we go. Awesome, man. Right. Hey, a lot of people have been picking him to a lot of people picking the Lions to get a cornerback in their first pick. You got him in their second pick. What is it about this pick that you like, Ray?
Just watch his game film. Just watch the kid play. Watch him play. He's technically sound. He's fast. He's got really nice hips. He's just very sound. I don't know if LaMarcus has watched his game film, but LaMarcus, if you do, it's a treat, man. The kid is a really nice player.
What do you think, LaMarcus?
I haven't watched a whole lot of film on Banks, but I know that Maryland secondary is, for the past 2 years, has produced some guys. So I think whoever's coaching the guys over there definitely doing something right.
For sure. All right, what do you think, Chris?
I really like this pick also. Every mock draft that I've seen over the past 2 months has Banks going to the Giants. So the fact that Carter falling that far to them and being able to double back and get, still my opinion, a day one starting corner, that's a real. If you're Brad Holmes, you'll be able to sleep well at night.
And keeping him away from Sam. Sam, I think you have.
Yeah, no, I definitely have seen Banks mocked to the Giants a bunch during this kind of draft process, and it's interesting to see how strong they think they need corner. But the way this draft's going, I think they would have to take a wideout, being that there haven't been as many off the board as I would have thought, or at least not yet.
Definitely. Wideout is definitely a position that is kind of sliding a little bit for sure, for sure. All right. Let's get to our next pick. That would be Tampa. So that would be Chris with Tampa Bay at 19. Chris, who you got Tampa Bay grabbing right here?
I think everybody will probably mock like a safety for this for Tampa Bay. I understand why, because of the free agency moves over the last 2 years, but I'm actually going to have a little fun with this pick. The Buccaneers had the worst rushing attack last year in football. And with that being said, you still have a decent offensive line with Jensen and Tristan Wirfs. I'm going to go Bijan Robinson.
He's off the board. Got him right before the Cowboys. Thank you. He's off the board right now. I was getting nervous. I was getting sweating bullets a little bit with the Cowboys coming soon. But I love the pick. What you guys think about it? Let's start with Ray.
If you remember, Jerome, our second mock draft that we did, I had Bijan Robinson going right here. I think you improve your quarterback play. Your offensive line doesn't have to be quite as good with a guy as talented as Bijan Robinson is. It gives you a focal point to your offense without worrying about the quarterback going for it.
Yeah, I want to mention Baker Mayfield. Nick Chubb's had some of his best years with Baker Mayfield. Not saying Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback, but sometimes that leads to a lot of dump downs, a lot of garbage plays for Bijan Robinson to have a phenomenal rookie year. So for fantasy people out there as well, I think this guy might be top 10 pick come August.
Yeah.
I would say, all right, awesome. I like that. I like that. LaMarcus, we're gonna try with you. What do you think about this pick right here?
I mean, like real premier running backs nowadays are between running back because of players. Like we talk about the Saquon Barkley, and superior running backs that I've ever seen. However, because of players.
Gotcha.
Obviously, as a great player, however, it's like we haven't seen how he's able to.
Definitely. LaMarcus, it's a little hard to hear you. I don't know if your audio went down a little bit. I can hear you, but you're low. So, but yeah, I do love the pick. I think it's a good pick for you guys.
I literally couldn't make Baker Mayfield's job any more easier. You got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, you got Bijan Robinson. If you can't be productive with that, then go to the USFL, man. Seriously.
Wow. I do like the pick, though. I do like the pick.
And this is coming from a former Baker Mayfield apologist right here.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to get to our next pick, which is going to be the Seattle Seahawks at number 20. That's going to be LaMarcus. LaMarcus, you're on the clock. Who you taking for the Seahawks?
I'm just going to make two guys, Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison.
I think with Geno Smith getting that extension, he obviously is going to be a project, not even a project, but he's going to be a guy that Pete Carroll looks to just continue to work with. He's going to add some weapons around him, and I think Jordan Addison is their type of receiver, like a Tyler Lockett type guy. They kind of do it from anywhere on the field, all three receiver positions.
I like it. I like it. I want to hear from you guys. What you think about this pick, guys? Start with Sam.
I definitely think it's kind of a sleeper pick when you're talking about a team like Seattle. Like, they need somebody like Jordan Addison to come in and make a contribution, be able to kind of take that next step because, they're not being San Fran with the roster they have now. So, I mean, you give Geno a guy like Jordan Addison, I think, there's a bit more explosion to that team, but at the same time, they still have other needs. But I could definitely get to see Pete Carroll, paying some tribute to USC and just get a wide receiver.
Definitely. There it is. Go ahead, Chris.
If the Seahawks walk away with Will Anderson and Jordan Addison night one in the first round, then I'm just going to go ahead and call it and say they're going to win the NFC West. You got legitimately the best pass rusher, probably the best overall player in this draft, and you got a young wide receiver who's going to come in as wide receiver 3, who's eventually going to be wide receiver 2 next to DK Metcalf as Tyler Lockett eventually ages out. And it's another legitimate weapon for Geno Smith. So trying to defend a offense with DK Metcalf, Addison in the slot, Tyler Lockett, and Penny in the backfield. That's a nightmare for any sort of defensive coordinators to game plan. This is a really good pick.
What I would say is, my last point was that if you're really, really not looking at Jordan Addison like that guy, I would tell anyone to go watch those first 3 games of last season to just see how purely dominant he was.
Addison is definitely my guy. I like him a lot. Ray, what do you think about this pick, though?
I think it's a great pick. I think, again, you come in there and get a guy that can come in here and help these other guys just be better players. People don't, again, Jordan Addison, one of them guys is so smooth when he's running routes. He just doesn't look like he's moving that fast. But believe me, he is. He's moving plenty fast enough. And he's a typical guy of, I'd rather have a guy who plays fast than opposed to like how fast they run. This guy runs great routes. He gets in and out of his breaks early. You never see his head move. He's really good. Really smooth. I like him.
All right. I like him too. I love the pick. Guys, for that one. 1 second. So let's get to our next pick, which is going to be number. Where we at? Where we at, guys? Where we
21.
At? 21, and that's you, Ray. You're at 21. I honestly would have thought like maybe Addison would have slid here. They might need a wide receiver. I think actually in my mock draft a few weeks ago, I had Addison going to the Chargers here. Ray, who you got going to the Chargers?
You know what? I'm just gonna. It's not an overwhelming team need, but you have some need there. I'm taking Miles Murphy, edge player from Clemson.
Ooh, Miles Murphy. I love it. Ray, you're a lot higher on Miles Murphy than most people. What do you like about him here?
The fact that I think he's a top 15 player and I get him at 21, I'm ecstatic right now, to be honest with you.
I see him sliding around this area too. So
I get it, man. He's not like the production was not great this year. But if you watch Clemson's defense play, they just didn't play great. But he played pretty well.
All right, LaMarcus, I want to get your opinion on it. You're in the Clemson area, not too far from Clemson, and you see a lot of Clemson play. What do you think about Miles Murphy here at Seattle?
First off, shout out to newly committed Heaven Brown Schuler.
Heaven Brown.
Ex-Academy. But fun fact, Miles Murphy actually played at my alma mater in high school. My high school played with his older brother. When it comes to technical players, since high school, since watching him as a junior and a senior, one of the most technical players I've ever seen at the defensive end position. He squeezes like the other. I think any team that can get this guy is going to be making a great investment because he's going to do his job. He's going to be consistent at it, and he'll definitely be a good addition to any team. A lot of the questions was he committed to football? But obviously he is because his technical ability shows that from day to day.
Definitely. So, real quick before we get to our next pick, I'm gonna do a little recap again. So the Panthers got Bryce Young at number 1. Number 2, we got the Texans going with Tyree Wilson. Number 3, we got Arizona taking C.J. Stroud. Number 4, we got Indy taking Anthony Richardson. Number 5, we got Seahawks getting Wilson. Number 6, we got the Lions taking Jalen Carter. 7, we got Christian Gonzalez going to the Raiders. 8, we got Paris Johnson going to the Falcons. Number 9, we got Devin Witherspoon going to the Bears. Number 10, we got Peter Skoronski going to the Eagles. Number 11, we got Joey Porter Jr. going to the Titans. Number 12, we got Jackson Smith-Njigba going to the Texans. 13, we got Nolan Smith going to the Packers. 14, we got Will Levis. Will Anderson. Will Levis. I bet they wished it was Will Anderson. But Will Levis going to the Patriots. Number 15, we got Broderick Jones going to the Jets. 16, we got Dalton Kincaid going to Washington. 17, we got Darrell Wright going to the Steelers. 18, we got Deontay Banks going to the Lions. 19, we got Bijan Robinson going to Tampa Bay. 20, we got Jordan Addison going to the Seahawks. And at 21, we got the Chargers going to the LA Chargers. I'm sorry, Miles Murphy going to the LA Chargers. All right, let's get to our next pick, which will be the numbers 22 pick, Baltimore Ravens. I know Coach Braxton would love to hear how this play is going. This is going for Chris. He's picking make Coach Braxton proud.
This one's a little difficult for me, but because I trust their coaching staff to coach them up a little bit more, I'm going to go Luke Van Ness.
There you go, bro. I thought you was going somewhere else. This is a perfect pick. This is perfect for me. I'm sorry. For me, this is perfect. I just gotta say that. I'm curious what everybody else thinks, but perfect for me. Ray, what do you think?
I think it's a good pick. I think he can play in a 3-4, 4-3. Baltimore likes to run like odds and evens fronts. I think it's a good pick. I like the kid. He's a high energy kid, and he's technically sound. So you can always get them guys, So it's a solid pick. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a quiet pick. I think low key, I'm surprised he got here, to be honest, this far at 22. I doubt he gets this far tomorrow night. I would be quite shocked, but Baltimore, I think, would love to have him. They need to rebuild that defense. Obviously, all focused on Lamar right now, but they cannot forget about what they need to do on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. And honestly, the only other option I was thinking about for this pick was probably Zay Jones, the wide receiver from Boston College. But they definitely need to shore up their pass rush, so that's why I went with Ness.
What do you think, LaMarcus?
I think you're muted, LaMarcus. But no, I think I'm going to go with Zay Flowers for that next pick, Chris. So that's kind of funny you said that. The Vikings have the next pick. So that's going to be interesting to see him and Justin Jefferson now, kind of him replacing that Thielen role. I don't know. I think it's a great fit. They need more weapons upon that offense, especially something to just take the pressure off of JJ a little bit. He's triple teamed every play.
So that's your pick then, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Awesome. All right. Let's get to our next pick real quick. And that will be number 23. That will be the Vikings. And that would be Sam. Who are you picking for the Vikings at number 23?
Yeah, I kind of just said I think I'm going to take Zay Flowers here. I think it's a good fit. And him and Justin Jefferson would be a fire duo. I think he would be able to just learn from JJ a little bit. And I don't think there wouldn't be too much pressure to be that guy at first, I think he would be able to just fill that role quite well. Had 124 targets last year. This guy loves catching the football. I think he's going to be a great addition for the Vikes.
Definitely. Real quick before I even let anybody else talk, Quentin Johnston's still there. You like Zay Flowers over Quentin Johnston?
Yeah, for some reason I do. I think I would favor explosion, and I'd favor a little bit better run after catch ability over what Quentin Johnston has.
I've been hearing people are a little bit lower on Quentin Johnston than most people think. Go ahead, Ray.
I think that Zay Flowers kind of fits their offense too. He's a little bit more vertical. And I think that Johnson and the other guy will pretty much like to use the middle of the field. I don't know if that will work as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. You look like you want to say something too.
Oh, yeah. Well, you already got Justin Jefferson, who's your do-it-all. TJ Hawkinson occupies the middle of the field. So you're going to need that guy that's just going to run that straight zero over the top route. And as I know people, I know Quentin Johnston's a little more, but it's just really hard to classify exactly what Quentin Johnston will actually be in the NFL. He's a big wide receiver, but he doesn't play like a big wide receiver.
I like it. Lamar, you got something you want to add?
Hey, definitely a super pick. I think he's Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got it.
Definitely a super pick. I feel like he was one of the guys that a lot of people kind of discredited Maybe didn't watch a lot of tape with him, but he's a great route runner, speedy guy. Has some return, I believe.
Definitely. I like it for sure. All right, awesome. So Zay Flowers going to the Minnesota Vikings right there at that pick right there. All right, number 24. That is the Jags. And who has the Jags? Mr. LaMarcus. Who you got going to the Jags right here?
So yeah, this was a hard pick for me, just because the Jags, I don't think they had a lot of glaring needs. I think they need depth in a lot of positions. So I was thinking that cornerback was the position that I would focus on. I think a pick that a lot of people really didn't necessarily think would be a top guy or a guy who would be one of the top guys off the board, but Julius Brents out of Kansas State. I actually had a chance to watch him in person. I feel like he's a really, really good corner who definitely came on the scene late, but great length, great to rush for a corner. And I think he'll definitely go fit in that secondary.
Wow. That's a big pick. It's such a big pick. I don't even have the graphic. I actually thought about it, and I was like, nobody's gonna pick him in the first round, and then somebody picks him in the first round. Of course, it was LaMarcus. Me and LaMarcus got to see him at the Senior Bowl this year. All three of us except for
sorry, I didn't hear who he said.
He said Julius Brinks.
Okay.
Julius Brinks. I don't hate the pick at all. This is definitely a deep draft. I heard a lot of big things about him. Maybe getting picked higher than a lot of people think. These. Go ahead.
Mainly, I looked up best available, and I like a man with Ford out of Mississippi State, had a lot of production, but I just think from watching Julius, just like technically to be so long and lengthy, you didn't give up a catch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I can get a ball out of him.
Yeah, and to make the two corners that you just said, Manuel Forbes and Julius Brinks, total opposites. I mean, Julius Brinks is a big, tall, lengthy guy, where Manuel Forbes is small and thin. He's only 160 pounds, which is insane. Playmaker, but he's small. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about the pick real quick.
I like the pick. I've kind of grown a fondness to tall physical corners over the past several drafts, and it's also a position in need. Their secondary absolutely got torched last year, so especially in the postseason. So getting any sort of help or relief with a really good player like Brett's definitely goes a long way.
LaMarcus touched on it. Watching him at this Senior Bowl, I think he was the best cornerback there. He's the guy who stood out the most, and there were some really good cornerbacks at the Senior Bowl. So I think you got to take that in consideration. I think he definitely – his stock is in that lower second round range. So you never know in these late 20s. If a team likes a player, they're going to take him. This is not really that first round pick. Some people view this as more of a second round pick in some ways.
I'm not sure if y'all remember, but he's actually one of the guys who left after that second practice because he was so dominant.
Yeah. We're gonna be seeing during the game. Ray, real quick, what you think on this?
No, I'm a fan. I think that if you put this kid in the right system, like again, press coverage where he can use his hands, and he has better hips than people act like. He's going to be a nice player for you. And he's one of the few guys I've seen that actually tackled a little bit, which I liked.
Yeah, I believe he's this year's Woolen, Tyreek Woolen. The guy, gonna surprise a lot more people than a lot of people think. Going down to Senior Bowl as well, showing his skill set, his speed, and his length. Go ahead, Chris. Like you say something.
Don't you dare bring that name up, because that's who I wanted the Eagles to get in the late rounds last year. And I had to watch him get a Pro Bowl bid and finish like second in defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, no, for real. Tyreek Woolen's that dude. Yeah, we got to interview him as well last year. And when I stand next to him during our interview last year Senior Bowl, I was like, huh? There was like six. I'd never seen a 6'4" guy that looked like he's like 6'7". Like he looked like he's tall, like he's tall, skinny, like not skinny, but like
runs a 4.34.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, like, everything. Man,
It's
so
Antonio
Julian
Cromartie
Brings,
reincarnated.
yeah. So Julian Brings give me a lot. Reminds me of about him a little bit more. A lot. Go ahead, Marcus. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying he's a true big four.
Yeah, for real, for real. I like the pick. I like the pick. All right, let's move on to number 25. Mr. Sam, finally get your team on the board right now. I know you're excited to give them a
Yeah, I mean, I kind of took my guy with 2 picks earlier, Zay Flowers, that I want the Giants to get. So I kind of messed myself up here, but yeah, it's all right. But I think I'm going to take Emmanuel Forbes here.
Don't have his graphic either, but wow. Okay, all right, I love it.
We need a corner. I've seen him mock to the Giants a bunch. He had 6 interceptions last year. This guy played 12 to 13 games, 3 straight seasons at Mississippi State. He's a dog. He doesn't get injured. He plays. He's a ball hawk. The Giants need cornerbacks that stay on the field. I like Forbes here. It seems like more of a safe pick, kind of a boring pick, but sometimes that's the way you have to go.
All right, two picks in a row. I don't have a graphic. But Sam, I got a quick question for you. Is he lining up against
might need a week or 2 to work him in before he gets Brown outside. Yeah.
So is he lining up against AJ
Smith?
Brown or or Devontae Smith?
I know him.
Devontae Smith is actually, you know, the funny thing is Devontae Smith is actually bigger than him.
Dude, I know. People, we were talking about this today with my friends. They're like, Devonta Smith's so tiny. I'm like, dude, when you watch him play, he does not look tiny, you know? Like, him next to Adoree Jackson and, like, all the rest of the quarters last year, I was just like, oh, my God. Like, it's every matchup anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, quick take on that.
Really solid pick. I thought you would at least go like wide receiver, like Quentin Johnson here, just to get someone like Daniel Jones to throw the ball to, because that wide receiver group is probably the most injury riddled in the entire NFL. So you need at least like some few fresh bodies in there. But I like the defensive pick.
Yeah,
definitely. I think my numbers are off if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, my numbers are good.
Oh, you're good.
I wrote it down wrong. All right, so awesome, man. All right, number 26, Ray. You got the hated team.
I think I know who's picking.
You got the Cows. Who you picking? Oh God, who you picking?
Taking Brian Breesy from Clemson, defensive tackle.
I like Breesy. I like Breesy. I'm not fearing that pick as much, but I do think that's a really good pick. I do think it's a good pick. Go ahead. Why you pick him here, though?
Biggest need, nice player, good upside. I mean, I just thought Dallas needs to improve their defensive, like the rush inside. Breesy gives you that element where he can get some inside pressure for you, and he's a good solid player against the run. Again, Clemson's defensive line played fairly well this year. They didn't play as good as they have in the past, but I think it's more because they didn't have the depth they've had in the previous year or so. Yeah,
definitely. I'm sorry. My numbers are also just like messing me all up. But yeah, I do like to pick. Chris, real quick, what do you think about this pick?
I had a feeling that Ray was going to go defensive lineman here. I picked him. I picked the wrong defensive lineman I thought he was going to pick. I thought he was going to go Cansey from Pittsburgh, but it's definitely a need. You need someone to help in the trenches with Michael Parsons, and it's not the flashiest pick like everyone in Jerry World and Dallas is so used to, but it's a strong pick that helps you win football games down the line.
Sam, he's in your division too. What do you think about this?
I don't know. He kind of looks like a cowboy to me, doesn't he? I mean, I feel like he just reminds me of their typical guys on defense. But I think he's a good pick. A solid guy. He's a smart player. I think he's a plug and play guy for day one. And Dallas's defense, again, that's a kind of injury riddled bunch as well. So I think Breesy will do his thing, and I can see that being a fit. I really can.
Lamar, do you want to add on?
Oh yeah, he definitely looks like a cowboy. I was gonna say go ahead and do the jersey swap.
Sure, right? Do the jersey swap. Ray actually is like I said, I like the pick. I'm happy you're not Jerry Jones because a Jerry Jones pick would be Quentin Johnson right here. I really thought you was gonna do that. Like Jerry Jones would be like, oh, Quentin Johnson's here. Oh yeah, let's do
No,
that.
because then I'd have two guys in the middle of the field that don't really want to run. No, thank you.
Or catch.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right about that sometimes too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you're wasting a first round pick on the guy who's going to be wide receiver 4 on the depth chart of opening day.
Agreed. It's just not a need. Defensive line is a need. Corner, I could have went. I could have went offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I went.
Could have gone tight end.
Could have gone tight end. To me, I went like safe. I did go safe, but Dallas is a good team. They can go safe.
All right, awesome. I like it. All right, Ray, you got back-to-back picks with your rivals right here, the Buffalo Bills, and they got some options. Who are you picking for the Bills?
This is a hard one because I have two guys that I kind of like similarly. But you know what? I'm going to go Cam Smith from South Carolina.
Cam Smith. Ray, I know you like Cam Smith a lot, and you had him kind of higher on a couple of our mock drafts. I like the pick. What do you think about what is it about Cam to be here with the Buffalo?
I think it fits a need. I could have went offensive line here, but there's more guys I can get in the second or third round for offensive line. I think corner is a bigger need for them, and I like Cam Smith maybe more than some other people, but I'm a fan. So
definitely. Real quick, who did Buffalo get? I mean, the Baltimore get. That was Chris.
Yeah.
It was Van Ness.
Lucas Van Ness.
That's the person I'm messing up on. All right, cool. All right, what you guys think about that pick, real quick?
It's a solid pick for a playoff team. However, there are a few other options that Ray could have gone with. Jahmyr Gibbs is right there. They need a legitimate running back one to alleviate all the pressure of Josh Allen throwing in January 40 to 45 times a game. And also Kancey's right there as well. The biggest issue that they had last year, especially with Von Miller going down, is that they couldn't get no sort of pressure in terms of stopping the run or the pass when it mattered most.
You know what? Honestly, Chris, the bigger problem with Buffalo is their corners are always hurt, though. They don't play week to week.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true.
So, I mean, I agree with you. I think their defensive line, they've actually drafted a lot of players there, too. They haven't come up to – I actually thought about taking Kelly Rango, too, from Georgia. I really thought about that hard. I just think Cam Smith is a little more versatile. That's all.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's get to our next pick, which is going to be number 28 to Cincy. That'll be LaMarcus. You are on the clock, sir. Who are you taking here for Cincy? I think there's only two picks right now for me.
All right, well, I'm gonna probably we need a guy to kind of create lanes for Joe Burrow, and basically free him up so he can throw the ball to that guy, Jahmyr Chase. So right here, I'm gonna take Jahmyr Gibbs right here. I think he's the guy who's gonna be a running back who can do it in the pass game and on the ground. Sorry. One of my favorite running backs. I honestly would have taken him over Bijan Robinson, just because I feel like Jahmyr can do more. He can get you 5 yards a pop and in the pass game. So,
woo! Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna say this is a surprise pick for me. But I like it. I mean, you don't know what's going on with Joe Gibbs, him and his Joe Mixon. You don't know what's going on with him in the off the field stuff. You got a dynamic guy that you can put in and at least have him in the rotation for now. Put him in that kind of role that he was when it was him and Mark Andrews. And Mark Ingram, and kind of do it from there. I like it. What do you think about this, Tim?
No, I like it too. I think it's kind of where this game's heading. I think two running back systems is starting to work. It'll take pressure off of Joe Mixon too. It'll keep Joe Mixon healthy. This will do a lot of things for Cincinnati offense that people don't realize, and it does take pressure off of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins as well. So I think it would be a good addition. And this is an offense with somebody like that. That's probably the best offense in the league in many eyes. So
Ooh, that's a lot of freaking weapons. That's a lot of weapons. But that's telling you they tired of losing to Kansas City. Ray, what do you think about this, man?
I'm a big Jahmyr Gibbs fan, so anytime, really any place after pick 15 or 20, I think he could go anywhere, really. So I'm a fan. I may have went with a pass catcher here, only because I think after next year, you're going to have to pay the one receiver. You're probably going to lose one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I maybe would have went a wide receiver here. But, man, you had a player like this to an offense like that, maybe helps you win a championship like Sam said. I just don't – I may have went pass catcher. But, again, you can't go wrong with a kid that's in town as Jahmyr Gibbs is. So.
Too many weapons. Chris, go ahead.
I just want to add, if Travis Etienne wasn't such a reliable guy last year, I would have probably taken him at the Jags. With the Jags pick earlier.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. Chris, real quick, what's your opinion on this pick?
Jahmyr Gibbs in his offense would be absolutely unfair. Also, if you draft him, that means that Joe Mixon is also like on the time clock on the way out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a great point, actually.
That's a great point. All right, great pick, great point. I love it, LaMarcus. You were actually double up on the pick and your last pick of the night. So you got the 29, the Saints, a team that's in your division. So who you giving them? I can't hear you, sir. Let me see. That's what I mean.
Sorry about that.
You good?
So the new quarterback, he'll definitely need some weapons. I'm thinking getting him a tight end would be an option. I'm gonna probably go with Luke Musgrave, Oregon State.
Ooh, Musgrave over.
Yeah.
Musgrave over Michael Mayer.
Michael
Mayer. Yeah. Ooh, wow. I'm very curious about what Ray says on here. Again, Marcus picking a player I don't have the graphic for. Good.
In my opinion, let me just really quick. He's a great pass catcher and a large guy. I think he's underrated in that regard. But on tape, he pops out. He's dominant. I feel like he's a good option for Derek Carr.
Yeah, he played very well at the Senior Bowl as well when he was there this past year. Ray, what do you think about that? Musgrave over Michael Mayer. I know you don't like it.
I wouldn't do it. So
I know you didn't like it.
I like guys that could block a little bit,
Yeah. Chris, what do you think, man?
Oh, I absolutely love this pick because it makes pick number 30 a lot more easier for me. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh man, Musgrave going to the Saints. Sam, real quick, what you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm still taking Mayer over him for some reason. I think Mayer's one of those guys that for some reason draft stock just continues to drop. You know what I mean? And like sometimes that happens, but it makes sense.
4.71. That's the only reason.
His speed, yeah.
The only reason.
Yeah,
he's a stud. He's been an All-American for 3 years in a row.
Yeah,
he'll be the best team in this draft when it's all said and done. No, without a question.
Obviously,
I mean, but you're talking about blocking. How are you going to keep up with the pass rushers in the NFL? Let's be honest.
Michael Mayer had the most inconsistent quarterback play in his whole career, but still has the most catches of any player in Notre Dame history.
Because they had nobody else to throw to.
when you're that good in the middle of the
field. You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that, though. Hey, Ray, he's not wrong about that part, at least.
Hey, Ray, I'm being biased just because I don't like Notre Dame. So.
Oh, no, I know everybody hates Notre Dame. I actually just left Notre Dame Monday, so I had a great time last weekend.
Hey, did you see Jerome Bettis? I saw he was down there with his son.
I actually shook hands with Jerome Bettis. One of the highlights of my life, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Bryant Young from that went there to play for the 49ers shook his hand off.
Oh, cool. That's
very
awesome.
good.
Yeah. Awesome. I got to meet Jerome Bettis last year, too. He's a great guy.
He is a great guy. I actually talked to his son for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Kid's going to be a stud at Notre Dame.
Woodward Academy. Out of Woodward Academy.
Woodward Academy here in Georgia. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get to our next pick, which is going to be the 30th pick. Obviously, that is my team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Chris is grinning ear to ear, so I'm very curious what he's going to do here because he looks super excited. I'm actually kind of nervous to how excited you are right now. Go ahead, Chris. Take your pick. You are on mute, by the way.
Just gonna do my little power walk to the stage, hand you the card.
Power walk, I love it.
I just know. Oh! I just know who's on the board. Go ahead.
And it's going to be Brian Branch,
Yes.
safety from Alabama.
Yes. I just realized you're still on the board. Yes. I love that pick.
And that's why, because the hurdle for me is that he had to get past Cincinnati. Because remember, they both lost Von Bell and Jesse Bates.
True.
So the fact that he got past that.
Run. Don't walk. I love that pick.
Hold on. Well, Jerome, you just said you were down to his coverage ability. So, in your opinion,
but he reminds me. So the same thing with Chauncey Gardner Jr. He's not the greatest cover guy, but he had a lot. He's gonna do the same type of stuff. He's a nickel safety Chauncey Johnson. He has some cover ability, but he's not the best one. We can use him around the line of scrimmage a lot, have him blitzing, things like that. Same stuff you do Chauncey Gardner Johnson. That's why I like him here, because the Eagles will do that with a guy like him and kind of scheme him up and allow him to do kind of roam around a little bit, more of that kind of jack kind of guy. Ray, what do you think about this pick, man?
I love it, man. I think the kid is, he's not a great cover guy, but he can play in a quarter type of a defense, which the Eagles play a lot, where they play, two deep safeties. I mean, I think he is a good player. Plus, he can come up and force the run. He's a very versatile athlete, man. I love the pick. I think it's a great pick.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I was really close for the Giants. I was about to take him with my Giants pick, to be honest, just because I think the way the league is kind of going, he's going to be in the slot. He's going to be a bunch of different places. So I don't think it would be a big deal to really just take him, even if you have safeties. So
plus he tackles.
Yeah.
That's one thing he do. He can tackle.
We got Skoransky, we got Branch. There.
That's a good draft.
That's a great draft. That's a great draft.
Two pillars for your next decade.
All you need is Tajay Spears in the second round, man, and you're good to go, my man.
Shoot, forget that. Let's go get my guy from Kansas State in the 7th. I'm okay with that too.
That's not going to work like Tajay Spears, man.
Tajay Spears is the boss. I like him.
You had him with Kenneth Gainwell. You had Tajay Spears with Kenneth Gainwell. They're similar but different. Man, that would be a nice mix.
Good combination. What's up, Lamar? What are you saying?
Talking about Kenny Gainwell.
Oh yeah.
Matter, man. You like him?
I'm not gonna do that to you.
Zero.
I'm not gonna do it to you. I'm not gonna do that.
He's gonna wear 0 this year.
Who cares what number he wears, man? I like him.
Definitely. All right, let's close off the draft night with Mr. Sam Kirk. You got the last pick in the draft, the NFL defending champions. Who are you giving them here?
I'm going to take Will McDonald from Iowa State.
Surprisingly, I don't have his graphic, but go ahead.
No, I think McDonald's one of the better edge rushers. D lineman here can kind of do it all, really athletic, a little bit lighter. I think the Chiefs, if they want to keep winning these big games, they're going to need more people to be able to rush the passer. And McDonald will bring that. There's options here wide receiver wise, but with as great of a quarterback as Patrick Mahomes, he can work with guys that are drafted in the middle round at the wide receiver position.
Definitely, man. Very interesting draft, man. I love the pick. Anybody got anything they want to add to this real quick?
Oh, if I was the Chiefs, I would have been spiteful and drafted Michael Mayer here.
Agreed. Or Isaiah Foskey. I would have taken one of them two Notre Dame guys, man, and I'd have won a Super Bowl game this year.
There's some. We're gonna get into who's kind of left on here, at least. But Lamarcus, you got any lasting words you want to say?
I can't stand the Chiefs.
Neither can anybody else, man. But it's all good.
So that was who was that again? That last pick,
Will McDonald.
Will McDonald. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. All right. So to recap what we got so far, let me take this off real quick before I do that. To recap the entire draft, and I'm trying my best to keep up with it because I was messing up a little bit. Number one overall, we got Bryce Young. Number two, we got Tyree Wilson going to the Texans. We got CJ Stroud going to the Arizona. We got Anthony Richardson going to the Colts. Number five, we got Will Anderson go to the Seahawks. Number six, we got the Lions going to Jalen Carter. Number seven, we got the Raiders going to Christian Gonzalez. Eight, we got the Falcons taking Paris Johnson. Number nine, we got the Bears taking Devin Witherspoon. Number 10, the Eagles taking Peter Skoronski. 11, the Titans going with Joey Porter Johnson. Number 12, the Texans going with Johnson, Smith, and Jigba. Number 13, the Packers going with Nolan Smith. 14, we got the Patriots taking Will Levis. 15, we got the Jets taking Broderick Jones. 16, we got Washington going with Dalton Kincaid. 17, we got the Steelers going with Darrell Wright. 18, we got the Lions taking Deontay Banks. 19, we got the Tampa Bay going with B.J. Robinson. 20, we got Seahawks taking Jordan Addison. 21, we got the Chargers going with Miles Murphy. 22, we got the Baltimore going with Luke Van Ness. 23, we got the Vikings taking Zay. 24, we got the Jags taking Julius Brent. 25, we got G-Men taking Emmanuel Forbes. 16, we got the Cows taking Brian Breezy. 27, we got Buffalo taking Cam Smith. 28, we got Cincinnati taking Jahmyr Gibbs. 29, we got the Saints taking Luke Musgrave. 30, we got the Eagles taking Brian Branch. Woo, woo. And number 31, we got the Chiefs taking Will McDonald. Before I let Ray close us off, real quick, I'm gonna go with everybody and ask what are the most surprising picks so far. LaMarcus, I'm gonna start with you. You're on mute, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my audio right for this next one. I think the most surprising pick, honestly, nothing that was really surprising to me. I think Anthony Richardson going as high as he did was surprising because I think he's like one of those guys, like the dark horse, like people like, we don't really know, but we're thinking about getting him. But yeah, Anthony Richardson, I would say.
Anthony Richardson going number 4 to the Colts. Chris, who do you think is what was the most surprising pick to you? You're on mute.
Well, two come to mind, and they're both quarterbacks. One, Will Levis to New England. That pretty much just says that you have no confidence in Mac Jones going forward. And the second one is CJ Stroud to Arizona. Like I understand the reasoning behind it, but I kind of feel bad for CJ Stroud because you're going into a situation in which your offensive line is not that good. Your top target wants out. Buda Baker wants out. And your new head coach is kind of not taking accountability for what happened for his shortcomings here in Philadelphia.
Quick question though: do you think that if the Cardinals do get a new quarterback, you think what's his name?
Kyler Murray?
No, the wide receiver. I think his name.
Kirk.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins. There you go. You think Hopkins want to stay? A different quarterback? I don't know.
Nah, he's long gone.
No, man, he wants to be paid and he wants to win.
He's dying to be a Bill. He's dying to be a Bill.
Go ahead, Ray. What's your most surprising pick of this draft?
I mean, I would agree with Chris, and I would go with CJ Stroud. I mean, I wish they had the guts to do it. I don't know if they would do it. I think it kind of depends. If you think Kyler Murray can be the quarterback for you, then you do what you got to do. But if you don't, you're not going to get any more for him than you're going to get for him right now. Someone thinking they can coach him up and they'll get because man. As much as I'm down on Kyler Murray, he is an immensely talented athlete. I'm not trying to say that he's not, but I need a quarterback who's dedicated to my team. And honestly, there's no other real pick that really stood out that surprised me. I mean, I could go Patriots with Will Levis, even though we all know that they're not completely happy with Mac Jones and he doesn't want to compete, it doesn't seem like, and that's never a good look for when you're a young quarterback.
Yeah.
But Stroud's the one that stands out the most. I mean, I love Lamarcus. I've never really met Lamarcus, but I love him for that pick, man. That's phenomenal.
I will say this before I let Sam go. I like how Lamarcus draft because he drafts so differently from everybody, but it makes sense. Like he should be like traditional.
Lamarcus should be working. Lamarcus should be working for the Seahawks. He kind of thinks outside the box, kind of the way they do. I like it. It's spicy.
You know? Because I'm making such crazy picks. I get it. I would get fired before, but then the guy would pan out.
You know what, man? For years, everyone was like, man, that pick for Seattle, I don't get it. But you know what? They won, so who cares?
Definitely. All right, Sam, what was your most surprising pick?
I mean, I think it's Washington being able to just trust Kincaid with their first pick at 16. I think that'd be you got to knock it out of the park with the rest of the draft if you're going to, Kincaid might be a great player, but year one, he's not going to be a difference maker that could really make them a threat in the NFC East. So you're going to need to knock it out of the park if you're willing to take a tight end at 16. So I can see them kind of maybe going a different route.
I agree with that a little bit, Stan, but I do like the match of him with being with Romeo Cornell. I do. I think that he's a player where he'll get the most out of him. It might not be right away because we got to remember, man, they're college kids.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen right away. I mean, plus tight end is the hardest position for the NFL players to learn from college to the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Lamarcus.
No, I was just going to say, I feel you on that assessment, Sam. I wouldn't have drafted a tight end high. But after seeing what the Falcons did, it's like, I guess it's their game now. You think a guy is a player, you can draft him regardless if he's tight end or not.
Everything revolves around the Falcons, man.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. Hey, it's his team. So
that's right.
Look how he's eyeing me. But I would definitely have to say it's the Will Levis for me. Not only that he was picked by the Patriots, but the slide. And I understand the pick, Sam. I get it. The only thing I'll say is that they like the guy that was behind Mac Jones a lot, and I think they would give him a chance before they actually draft another one, honestly. Especially with a guy like Will Levis, who's kind of still in the sense of a project. So I don't know if that's really what they want to do right there, but I get your motives. I get why he was sliding. He's a good quarterback to have later in the draft anyway. So I get your motive, but I just think that, and again, I keep forgetting the kid's name. But they're
I'm trying to remember who you're thinking about.
Yeah, they like him a lot. They remember last year they kept switching him and Mac Jones out. So
Bailey Zapp.
Yeah, Zappy.
There he goes.
Yeah, you know what? In a way, though, Drum, that kind of makes what Sam's saying more like them taking Will Levis. I don't think they're going to.
Like, if any team was going to do it, it would be that. Like, they don't care. They don't care. In a way,
you could try to trade Mac Jones, which I don't think you can, but you could try to, and then maybe you bring in this guy that Zappy is a starter for a year or two, and then maybe Levis. I'm just trying to figure out a scenario where it does work.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it, but I think if you look at it like, yeah, Chris.
Maybe Mac Jones gets traded to Houston.
There you go. Exactly. Maybe Houston doesn't make a move for a quarterback, and they take a Mac Jones.
Yeah. Or they take Zappy. Maybe they want Zappy over Mac Jones. You know what I mean? You never know.
No one wants Mac Jones over Zappy anymore, man.
No.
I mean, because Mac Jones, you know what the problem with Mac Jones is? What you saw at Alabama was the ceiling. That was as good as he was ever going to be. And it's not good enough for NFL players. It's just not. Like in a good offense, he could be a functional player, but it better be a really good offense.
And also, like for my entire draft process, New England was the only fit for him. And if he kind of craps out and fails in New England, then I don't see another place for Mac Jones to be a starter at.
Plus, the crazy thing about it is he was a 15th pick, so now you're within 3 years you're using top 20 picks on quarterbacks. And if there's rumors right now that Bill Belichick has 2 more years where they don't make the playoffs, he'll be fired. Which would surprise me, but
that would be crazy. But hey, yeah,
man.
He'll probably step down.
I don't think Bill Belichick will retire. I don't think he'll retire. Like he is a decent. Like I forget exactly how many wins he's away from Don Shula, but he would love to break that record. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Like that's why I say mutually part ways because he probably want to go somewhere else and coach for a little bit so he can get that record.
I think he can. Yeah. Here's a question for you guys, Chris. If Nick Saban were ever to leave Alabama, this is a question I had posed to me the other day. I think his only move is NFL. What do you guys think?
Yeah, there's no other move to make.
Nick Saban?
Yeah. If he were to leave, like there's rumors that.
I see LaMarcus taking the say too. I think he's staying in college ranks.
No, I think he is too. But the question was, if he were to move on from Alabama, what team would he go to? And I was like, well, no college. I said the same thing, no college team. He's going to go to because the only blemish on his resume is that he didn't win in the NFL.
And he'll go with his buddy, Bill.
Bill Belichick?
Yeah, he'll go with his buddy.
Ooh, I cannot. That's a big shadow to cast over.
That's a lot of ego. That's too much ego in one spot.
That's a lot of ego, man.
That's a lot of ego in one spot.
A lot of ego. That's like putting Superman and Shazam in the same room together, man.
I just don't think it's at that point. I think
or Captain Marvel. Sorry.
He dominated college ranks.
No, you said it right. It's Shazam.
Nah, it's Captain Marvel.
No, it's Shazam.
Anyway. I'm a little bit of a comic book nerd, dude. It's Captain Marvel.
I am too, but I'm more of a Marvel fan. So, but anyway, we're talking comic books.
Yeah, we're getting off focus here now.
So before we get off, Ray, I promised Ray to get the last talk today because his team doesn't have a first round today. So before I let you talk, I'm gonna show you some of the prospects that we still have on the board. I'm gonna let you kind of maybe see if one of them go for the Dolphins, and then what would you like for the Dolphins to do in here? So
is Michael Mayer there?
Michael Mayer is still there.
Backflips in your Michael Mayer.
Quentin Johnston, Kiko Ringo, DeJuan Jones. You got Kalijah Canty, and I'm not even going to attempt to say his name, but I know LaMarcus likes him a lot.
Yeah, running back is good. He's good.
Definitely. So, Ray, this is your moment. Before we close off, send us off really well, man.
I mean, I would love to have Michael Mayer. I would settle for Darnell Washington from Georgia if I could have him. That would be a really nice pick for me. I would like that. Who else? Tight end. That's really the two guys. DeJuan Jones from Ohio State, because I could put him in right tackle right now, and he'd be a road grader for me. They're my two guys right there. Him and Washington. Michael Mayer's not going to be there. If Michael Mayer's there at 51, there's a lot of executives in the NFL.
What's going on? Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
I mean, I don't think Washington will be there either.
Yeah.
But that would be a dream scenario. Him or DeJuan Jones, either one of them guys are there, I would be very happy.
100%. Oh, yeah. Michael Mayer, I don't. There is a chance that he can fall out the first round. There is because of the speed. We talked about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not making it in the Dolphins.
This is the biggest reason why I'm upset that Miami doesn't have a end of the first round pick, because right there, man, I get my tight end, either one of them, and I'd be happy, man. Happy, because it's one need on my offensive line is a little bit of a need. Mm-hmm. But that and tight end are probably my biggest needs on offense. And with my wide receiver core now, It's like a track team, man.
100% for sure. Well, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Thank y'all so much. I hope y'all enjoyed this 2-hour draft, 4-man draft. We have some great people in here. I do appreciate everybody for being in here. LaMarcus Bailey, Chris Thomas, Sam Kurt. You already know Mr. Ray Roberts. Before we get off, I want everybody to get a little your little shout outs if you want to plug anything. I know Chris. I'm sorry, Chris, because I know he got the radio show. So Chris, tell us where to find you, man.
You can find me every Tuesday, 98.5 FM, and on UptownRadioPhilly.org, the Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture. And also, I will be live at Lincoln Financial Field tomorrow for the Lincoln Financial Field Eagles Draft Party.
Yes,
where
sir.
Thousands of Eagles fans will be disappointed when we don't select Bijan Robinson.
Listen, if the draft goes the way you have it, I think we'll be okay. It might take a few hours for things to calm down, but I think we'll be okay. LaMarcus Bailey, let's get a little shout out to you man.
I just want to shout out all my IPA guys, man. Y'all are the best. I want to shout out 41 Management Group. Shout out. Let's get ready for the draft.
Yes, sir. The draft is tomorrow. Sam is going to be on the live draft tomorrow. He's doing a first round draft. Sam, you want to do a little shout out yourself right there? You're on mute, sir.
My bad. No, come by tomorrow night. Come check us out. We'll be just talking draft, and it's gonna be a fun night. Really, all 30 picks. It's a full draft this year. Like it's not gonna get boring. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like you're gonna have to stay up and watch these picks. Might as well do it with us. But
yeah, listen. If you thought our draft was crazy, wait until the actual draft tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wait until the after draft. It's gonna be even crazier. It's gonna be picks like this. It's gonna be even crazier picks that gonna be left-handed. They're going to actually be able to trade. We didn't trade tonight, so expect the unexpected. This is why we love the draft each year. So Sam's going to be on next tomorrow night on a live draft during the first round. If you want to come on, just come on. Anybody that wants to pop in, make it a little cameo, want to talk about some of your picks, definitely do that tomorrow. We will be live on YouTube all first round tomorrow as well. So thank you guys a lot. Ray, last shout outs.
Just want to say, Sam, where do you live? Do you live in North Jersey?
I'm from South Jersey, Morristown. It's
okay.
right by like Cherry Hill area.
Okay, well, I live in Maple Shade, man. We're like 10.
I'm right there.
All right, I was just wondering.
Yeah,
I think maybe there's a guy with Jets Media. He's a Jets fan who actually does a lot of podcasts. He's a pretty good guy. So
yeah.
All right, I was just wondering. I thought maybe you lived up there near him.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, all I want to say is again, let's have a good time tomorrow, man. Everybody have fun. Enjoy yourself. No craziness. When Bijan Robinson doesn't go to Philadelphia, let's not everybody jump off a bridge or nothing. It's going to be okay.
Listen, I'm gonna be okay as long as we don't get JSN. I think it's a little too rich to get.
They won't draft the wide receiver either, Jerome.
It's just too much. It's just too much in my opinion. Like, if we trade back and we got him, I get it. But at 10,
maybe you had to trade back and you Bijan Robinson though.
I would love that. I would love that too.
There you go.
Well, we never know, man. So that's gonna do it, sis.
And the Hooker QB4.
Hey, I hope the Giants get 4, man. That'd be crazy. I love that. Hey, let AJ Brown line up against him. I'm just saying. But that's gonna do it for us today, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for getting on with us. Again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We are live right there. You do have the QR. Oh shoot, I went the wrong way this time. I'm used to going this way. We have the QR code right over there next to Sam. Right there, you can scan that and get all our social medias on there as well. Definitely follow us throughout the seasons. We have a lot of great interviews on there. We got a lot of draft stuff. So make sure you check us out on there as well. Hope all you guys have a great night. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the draft tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Have a great one. Stay safe. And make sure you stay tight. Peace.